Okay, so today I'm going to show you how I make a quillow. This is obviously not full size because that takes a long time. So that's not what we're doing. So I'm making a doll quillow to show you. So this will be our blanket representative. It's thick, fleece, it's fine. This is our stuffing. And this is what I'm going to use to make the actual pillow part. So when I make a quillow, the quillow typically folds in 3 to tuck inside of the pillow part. But that's a rough estimate. So we're just gonna totally ballpark everything here because this is just to show you generally how these things are made. So take a piece of fabric, which clearly has been pre-washed and pressed, of course, mother. So then this is going to be the pillow part. So you can fold it in half or quilt one side and make the other, but we're just going to do it fast. So tuck in some stuffing to make sure that it'll fit. Yep, that'll look fine. So I'm just going to zip this up. So you sew 3 sides shut. In this case, one's already sewn, so that'll make it faster. And no, my thread doesn't match, and no, I don't care. Sew this up. I'm using an old Husqvarna, which I love. I have several sewing machines. The exact number shall remain a mystery. But this is my workhorse lately. So there's my pocket. So I'm gonna flip it round. Mind those corners. Oh, I should have clipped them first. Okay, look, if I'm going to do this, I better do it right. Okay, so then you clip the corners to get all the extra fabric out of the way so that when you turn it, you have room to actually turn the corner and to stick it out. There, that's better. Okay, you want nice square corners. Oh, cut it too much. Oh, that's what happens when you're just doing it fast. Okay, then you take the stuffing, put it inside, like that. Try to make it flat as best you can. Of course, this is like world record setting doll quillows here. All right, tuck it in, then you got to sew it shut because the front is its own unit, basically. Different fabric typically than the rest when I'm using fleece, but when I make a proper quillow, then it'll be either matching or coordinating fabric. Okay, so there it's shut. No, I'm not pinning it. I'm going to zip this part shut also. My foot pedal's in a weird place to make this video. It feels very strange. Okay. All right. Okay, so there you go. You can see I've made a nice, cute little pillow. So now, because this would normally be bigger and you don't want stuffing to move around on the inside, you do have to quilt it. So we can machine quilt this super fast by putting an X or by, being extra and making some sort of pattern. In this case, we'll just make an X for the sake of making the video. Yes, and then my machine has a tension problem and now it won't work. Oh, do we have soundtrack? Try again. I never quilt right to the edges simply because that's where the seams are going to be to attach it to the actual blanket, so there's no need. Leave your needle in when you turn, that way your piece doesn't move. All right, there we go. So here's my quilted piece. So now this will go onto the blanket itself, like that. Remember I said we're going to fold it into thirds. So I put this on the wrong side of the blanket. So that it's the wrong side that shows when it's the pillow. And then if you're using the blanket as a blanket, then you just have this nice blanket part, right? So in this case, I would make my bobbin color match the blanket so that the seam would be invisible. But right now it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to sew that. And I sew it a little bit in from the edge also. Normally because this would have a bound edge of some kind or a thickness of seam. And I could be sewing through something like 12 layers of fabric, which is just mean to my machine, so I'm not going to do that. It's because I want to hurry. I'm having problems. You know what else is super good when you're sewing? Your glasses. They make an amazingly good difference. Surprised no one in the peanut gallery over in the living room is laughing. Okay.
Hey, I'm trying to be nice.
Okay. Shockingly, this doesn't even look too horrible. Okay. And voila. Achieved. Okay, so trim up these threads. All right. So you can see I maintained an approximately even seam allowance all the way around, so that if you are looking at the pocket side, it looks normal, right? Like that. Now to get this into a quillow, make sure that you can actually see this. Okay, to get this into a quillow, you're going to fold it into thirds, like that. Do this when you're standing up or whatever. So pocket side down, fold it into thirds, and then into thirds again in this case, and then flip it inside out. This is a lot of blanket for this little pocket. Clearly I did not measure very well. That's okay, this is just an example. But you want your pocket to be really full of blanket, because that way it makes a nice firm pillow that'll actually hold its shape. And again, you want to get those corners. That's why it's important in the first place, right? Because you need the room. So then, oh, so much blanket. Okay, so get the general idea here. I have to do this, take it apart and flip it inside out again, just a second. Happens the first time anyway. You have to turn the corners. See? There, now there'll be room. All right, try that again. Like it. Stuff it inside the pillow. Oh, there we go, that's much better. There you go. Now you have a quilted front. Well, it's a little big, but whatever. Okay, so there you go. So you have your quilted front of your pillow, and then the back side, and you can see, so that's the back side of the pillow blanket. And then there, right? It's all tucked away. It's staged. If you had something like a picture of Ken, then this could be a Barbie pillow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying. So this is basically how you make them. And yeah, that's what I do all day long while I'm in quarantine. So there you are. Bye.